Okay, we are live on one platform. Let's see, are we live on two platforms? Not quite. We're live on Telegram for sure. Let's see about Twitter, on X rather. Yeah, live on X, and I'm also going to start on PumpFun. And we'll stream from all three platforms again like we did yesterday. All right. Fantastic. We are live on all three. Just going to update. And there we go. Updated on PumpFun. Oh, I closed it. Why did I close it here? That's strange. There we go. Welcome everyone. So we're here again for another live stream. Great. We are live on X, live on Telegram, and live on PumpFun. We're live on all three platforms again, as usual. So this is our second stream going on all three platforms since we started doing that. Fantastic. So I'm just going to check in on all platforms to make sure everything is okay. Can everyone hear me on Telegram, on X, on PumpFun? Going to assume, since it recorded fine yesterday, so I'm going to assume that yes, everybody can hear me. Great. I'm going to give it a minute and then we'll begin. I'm just going to wait for see if more people join, especially on X, because yesterday we got up to about 50 or 60, I think, at one point. So I'll give them a little time to join. This is part of the PumpFun Hackathon building in public. So the requirement is they want the teams taking part to build in public. So we've been live streaming every single day. Okay. 2 viewers on Telegram. Great. Hi everyone. Welcome. Okay, we're live there. Okay, so I think I'll just begin. What we've been doing at the other live streams is we have been looking through the background to this project. I do a little pitch deck, I suppose, that I've been doing. It's also the same content that I put in the pitch to PumpFun as part of your application for entering the hackathon. You had to put together a 2-minute video explaining who you were, what the product was, why you're entering, and so on, what the benefits of it, the unique selling points of it are. So that's what I've been doing. If people want, I can do that again. I probably will, just in case anyone missed it yesterday or on the previous days. So I probably will run through that again as well. Every day we've also been doing a little product demo. I will probably do that again as well. I just think it's a nice idea to do it, and I'll show you the different products and I'll talk through how I use them personally as well, just in case that would be interesting. Then the other thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk about an architecture issue. I'm going to talk about how I send the signals from my bot to Telegram to all of the Telegram users. So I'm going to talk about what I'm doing for that. Okay, so I'll begin with the slides, I guess. So let me just go back to the beginning of these. Okay. So yeah, this is my product. It's called UpScalp. It is a future trading spot. It works 24/7 and it helps especially novice futures traders to trade more effectively, to reduce unnecessary risk. I think is a major aspect. So in our Telegram group today, we are talking about that aspect. The product has a mantra right from the very, very beginning, which was make gains and avoid dumb risk. So definitely unnecessary risk is something that I've spent many months trying to build into the product so that it protects you from unnecessary risk. My name is Major. I'm the founder and developer, currently a team of one. There isn't really anyone else on the team at the minute, although I've been part of many products, say, over the last 6 years, and definitely have drawn on the experiences that I have from working with everyone on those previous products I worked on. So it's definitely not coming from nowhere on it. I worked with some amazing people and got very inspired by them. My background is that I'm originally an engineer. I've been in product development for 20 years, over 20 years now. I've worked in every aspect of it, from research and development, design, user testing, quality control. But I'm currently in user experience and content. Is where I'm focused. So the last 5 or 6 years. I got into crypto in 2021, and I've been applying the skills from my professional life into crypto to create products that meet user needs and fill gaps. So in particular, I really am a big fan of user-friendly products that do a job well. And in our premium users group, we have a separate group for the people who are hold 5 million tokens or 0.5% of supply. There are premium users; they get access to UpScalp Premium. I was discussing with them today that that's where I'm coming from really with this, building this product. Um, I just, as a designer working in design, I'm such a big fan of simple products that are very user friendly, very clear, and do their job very well. So that's really what pushed me to spend so much time on UpScalp. I've been building it for 5 months now, and literally putting in 30 to 40 hours a week on top of my day job as well. Because I don't work full time in crypto. I have a IRL job also. It's in the same field, and I really like my job, so I want to keep doing it well also. But it just, I think, shows how obsessed I am with this product, that I am putting so much extra hours every single evening, every weekend. I'm putting so many hours into this every week because I want it to be really, really good. Where did the idea come from, or the underlying problem, the why of UpScalp? Most crypto traders fail because the market is moving too quickly for them. It moves very, very fast, and it moves faster in particular than they can think. So quicker than they can analyze the situation. So it seems like there are potential trades everywhere, but when things go wrong, it's very hard to know why they went wrong, to figure out what happened. You might be missing a wider market context. You may be missing some risk controls because you're manually doing your trades, and you're maybe relying on instinct, or you're just looking at one particular situation. You don't have that wider context. And you're also probably missing a feedback loop. So you don't change the way you're trading, or you don't have enough of a system, which is very, very difficult. Some very disciplined traders can do this. They have the internal discipline that they can develop a system and have that feedback loop that informs their system and that improves it over time. But for most people in reality, that's going to be way beyond them. It's just too difficult to maintain that feedback loop and constantly be improving. And if you can't measure, you can't improve. So what I want from UpScalp, what I want to deliver with it, is repeatable decisions with less noise. So we want to identify high quality setups, and we want to identify the risk clearly as well, in very short time frames, because when you get these opportunities, these setups, when they arrive, you have a short window to grab them. And if you don't, you're actually can be worse off than you were if you had just left the trade alone. Missing that window can actually be detrimental. What UpScalp gives you in this product, we have a multi-stage pipeline. So the idea is that, as the tagline on the website says, it's get high quality setups, turn volatility into gains. So that's what we're trying to do, to put structure on an unstructured market. It has 30 plus strategies built in that are all running in parallel. These came from academic research, from industry best practice, which initially I did all manually. So at the very beginning, I was spending an awful lot of time on academic journals, finance journals, and looking for industry sources to find best practices around futures trading and innovative edges. Now I automate everything. So I think in our Telegram group, it's something that the topic that's come up a lot. When I have an issue, or when I have something that's taking up my time, I usually try and build something to automate it instead. So this is what I've done with the research now. I actually have scripts that are running, and we'll keep an eye on developments in academic research and developments in the industry to provide me with sources of information, of research, of insights that I can then apply to the bot. What the bot delivers to you as a user is structured setup. So it's giving you entries, targets, stop losses, and loads of other information too, like market context, for example. Behind all that, there's a quality scoring system. There's risk mitigation going on and things like that in the background. And as I mentioned at the beginning, capital preservation, the risk gates that I've built into to protect you from unnecessary risk, from dumb risk, is also in the back end. How each signal gets prepared specifically is we're scanning the market. So the bot is scanning the market continuously. I'm using Binance as the current data source, but we can use multiple different exchanges. And I have backup set up, so if Binance is not available, it automatically switches over to a backup exchange. It's scanning the top 50 pairs by volume because, again, just through research and experimentation from all of the data that the bot collects, there wasn't really any benefit to going beyond the top 50, to be honest. So then, as it's scanning through the top 50 with those 30 plus strategies, it's detecting potential setups. It's validating them against a scoring system. So it's a very complex scoring system, multi-layered, going on in the back end. It's applying risk framing so that it is, again, it's almost like a second level of scoring for risk. And then if the candidate signals pass through both the scoring checks and the risk gates, then they're delivered to Telegram in a very, very user-friendly format that allows you to scan the signal very quickly and decide if you want to enter that trade or not. There are 3 products, so I'm going to talk a little bit about them, and then we'll do a little quick demo because we do this every evening. I think it's a nice idea to go through and see if anyone has any new questions today in particular. So the first product is UpScalp Lite. This is free for the duration of the hackathon. We'll see how much longer we leave it open as free. I'm not quite sure after the hackathon ends. It'll probably be like a nominal fee. It'll probably be like a small price for that. Within that, you get 30% of the signals that the premium bot receives. You get market summaries. You get notifications if the market is shifting, so if the trend of the market has shifted. And you also get some warnings if previous signals now may be at risk of closing against you. So it gives you the option. You can see these exposure warnings and decide if you want to review your open trades and maybe you want to close them. For example, if the market started turning bullish when you have a lot of shorts open, you may want to review those shorts. The premium bot is the second product. Currently, at the moment, it requires 0.5% or 5 million UpScalp tokens to get access to it. I need to change that. Actually, there isn't a request form anymore. There's a bot which is on Telegram. So there's a seamless process for getting access to it based on your wallet. It's anonymous. Yeah, much quicker. Initially, we had a Google form on the website, but I need to update that line in this presentation. What you get in the premium bot are the full signal flow, so no restrictions in the number of signals coming through to you. You get all those market summaries. You also get the watch list report, so that shows you which symbols and which strategies are currently hot or cold. If something has 3 wins in a row, it's considered hot. If it has 3 losses in a row, it's considered cold. And then you have another tool called the Still Good Checker, which is something that I made just from my own personal experience, something that I wanted. If I missed a signal, so maybe it was 20 minutes ago and I only spotted it now because I wasn't looking at my phone, I can use Still Good to check if that signal is still good and if the entry is still good. And if it is, then I can decide to enter or not. It'll tell you how far away it is from the original entry and if the quality of the signal has changed also. And then the final product, which is not public at the moment, I'm currently testing it, is UpScalp API. And this does automated execution of trades on your exchange of choice. At the moment, I've been testing it with Binance, but we can definitely test it with other products as well. I wanted to do it with Mexi, but they removed their API access last July, unfortunately. But there's plenty of other platforms as well. We can definitely, I think I initially looked at Hyperliquid as well. We could definitely integrate with other platforms too. And I think that's about 2 months away is what I've been saying, just because a central theme or like a core value of UpScalp as well is that I risk my money so you don't have to. And the idea is that I will take on the risk, make the product work really, really well, and then I'll open up access to the public. Great. From the roadmap perspective, I'm actually going to update this as well because we've got 2 new entries for it. So live now, we've got the various bots and the various notifications within the bots. In progress are constant strategy, constant research, automated research to find more edges for the product. tuning the product, improving the quality gates, covering more regimes of markets, because of course it's a new product and the market changes constantly. And as we see new type of market conditions, I need to tune the bot for those conditions as well. What's coming in the future is API bot access that I mentioned there. The other two things that I wanted to add to it that are not on this minute is I would definitely look at expanding to Discord also, to making a Discord bot. Sorry, it'd be three, so 3 bots for Discord. And I'd also look at a mobile app. I think that would be something. So I previously worked on a mobile app product for crypto, and I think we could definitely do that as well. Great. And as I say, we're building every day. We're here live streaming 6 p.m. every day, 1800 UTC. You can follow in our Telegram group or the website, on X, on PumpFun, and Telegram as well. Yeah. Okay. So what I usually do then is just do a quick demo of the product as well. So let's do that over here. So this is our Telegram group. If anyone wants to join, it's just UpScalp portal. Let's take a look at the Lightbot first. Okay. So as you said, this is getting about 30% of the signals that the premium bot gets. As you can see in this, you get the type of strategy. The token is here named it's speculative, which means that the score is not so great. It's like below 50% here. It's a short. You get the price, the current price change in volume. You get some trade setup information like an entry, an exit, take profit, and stop loss, but not a lot of other information. So if we compare that to the premium bot, let's have a look at signal in the premium bot instead. Okay. So let's see, we got Aster here. Again, it's a short strategy, speculative. Score is not so high on this one, 46% again. It's short, but here's some of the additional information that you see. So this is a hot strategy, which means, in other words, this strategy has had more than 3 wins in a row. And as you can see here, it's an 88% win rate strategy at the moment. However, you can see that this is a bad time for this strategy. When I was looking at the data, we collect so much data in the back end. There's been over 32,000 signals since the 29th of December. And this gives me an enormous amount of data to analyze. So by analyzing this data, I can see that for this particular strategy at this particular time, it's not a great time for it. And I have the best time as well. So a better time frame for it is 15 to 18 UTC. We've got price information here about volume, liquidity. We get correlation information here. It's not in the Lightbot, so it tells you that it's 90% correlated with BTC. We get something about momentum. So the RSI, it's momentum aligned. So the market is not moving against a short. We get the confidence of it, confidence score. We get VWAP or VWAP down here, which is the average traded price for today. We're on the wrong side of it this time. So you generally like to be, if you're shorting, you want to be above it. If you're longing, you'd want to be below it. That'd be ideal. Gives us a better entry, so I could set a limit order or a price alert for that instead. Give me some recommended trade setup, which is not in the Lightbot as well. It's giving me recommended leverage, entries, TP1 and TP2 this time, and a stop loss, and also the key levels. Okay. The API bot, I'm just going to have a quick look at that. So I'll give you a look at an API trade. I'm just testing this in a minute. So these are coming from the signals from the premium bot, but I have a huge range of settings that I can apply to this here. Additional settings for risk mitigation, risk management, and choosing the conditions that I want for a signal to fire. I didn't actually look at the settings in the premium bot, but as you can see, there's a huge number of settings here. Looking at the premium bot, I'm just going to, oops, that's the access bot. There it is, premium. Okay, need to recognize these. Let's just open the settings here. Give you an example of some of the settings. Oops, not working. Try again. No, it doesn't want to work. Okay, let's type it. It's very strange. Okay. There we go. Okay, so let's open up the settings. So here again, if the stream of signals is too overwhelming, there are a lot of options here that you can use to help you. So we can have only excellent and exceptional signals showing in your feed. This would be a lot fewer because obviously excellent and exceptional signals are fewer and further apart. You can choose to only trade the top 15 at any given time. You can choose to only trade BTC or ETH. You can choose to pin the signals, which is, I like pin signals. That just means that I can flick through these like cards here. I can go through the signals like this very, very quickly. So personally, I like that, but if you don't, you can switch it off. You can choose to trade only hot. So that would be the symbols and the strategies that have had 3 wins in a row. You can choose to block cold. I usually would leave that one off just because I prefer for quality control. I like to see more. But I usually leave this one on because, yeah, there's not really any point in looking at them for me from my perspective. And I can block bad time frame as well. And think I won't do that again because it's good for demonstrating. If there's a particular session that you don't want signals from, like I don't want to be disturbed during the UK session, I can switch that off. And if I want to ignore, I can add symbols here and they won't appear. And I actually added BTC yesterday, so let's BTC. Let's add it back. There we go. So I'll see signals for BTC again now. Cool. Okay. So the main topic I wanted to talk about today, I'm just going to check all the groups and see if there are any messages. Let's have a look. Any questions? No. Okay. So the main thing I wanted to look at today is a problem. So yeah, just to talk about a problem that I'm going to be working on soon. So as the user numbers grow, the current system that I have for distributing the signals to each user is going to get slower and slower and slower. Because initially when I was testing it just as an MVP, which means minimal viable product, I was the only customer, so I was the only user. Then as we established a beta testing group, we had a few more, but it still wasn't a very large number, maybe 5 or 6 more. So it didn't really affect the length of the scan, but as the numbers are growing now, I can see that it is starting to slow the bot down a bit. So this is something I was thinking about. It's probably about a month and a half ago I started working on this initially, but then I had other things that were more pressing that I wanted to get working before I worked on this one. And also I was more interested in the quality and the risk management. So I was able to work on those first and I left this till now. But now it's starting to become a problem as we have more and more users. So just to talk about the current setup, first of all, I'm going to go over here. So this is the current situation. What we have here at the moment is what's in the architecture section of the website too. So when I was looking at the website, there's more detail about each of these things, but it's what I described a second ago when we went through the presentation. And at the moment, the processes that we're scanning the market, we're detecting candidate signals, we're putting them through this scoring and validation, and then we deliver them. And I also have a couple of processes that work in between scans. So usually, just again, because it wasn't effective to be constantly scanning, this is just from the data, it really didn't make that much of a difference having like a 2-minute or 3-minute break in between each scan. I do have some processes that run here that watch the market for shifts. So the market trend shift notifications I was talking about, they continue to work during the downtime of the scan. And then when it hits the timer that we're going to start a new scan, it loops back up to the top. And the main issues with them at the minute is the sending part, the delivery part, slows down the scan because it needs to send out all of the signals before it begins to scan again. And then as we get more users, it's going to get slower as the account, as we're sending the signals to every possible account. So I started doing some research on this a while ago, and I found a few ideas, and then this is kind of where I'm at the minute. And I'm obviously very, very open if anyone wants to talk to me about this and has a better proposal for it. But at the minute, we have this cycle that it goes through and then it loops back. But this is what I'm thinking of doing. So we'd still have scanning the market and we'd be detecting the potential candidate signals. But at that point, what I'm thinking of is splitting. So at that point, we would end the scan, begin the market monitoring element, which is looking for trend shifts and things like that. And we would at each point here, at each moment, sorry, probably not that clear from the diagram, but at each time there's a detection. So it wouldn't wait until the end to process the detected signals. The moment that we detect a signal, it instantly goes to a second process, a receiver process. So this is like real time detection of a signal, real time sending to the receiver process. This is where the validation and risk framing would happen. As the signal arrives to the receiver, it would process it in real time through it. It would then go to a distributor process. And my idea then is the distributor process would assign each signal to a delivery worker, and this would deliver the signal to all of the users. The reason why I would do this is it takes the scoring and the risk framing out of the scanning. So all of that validation and risk framing rather out of the scanning. It should make the delivery much, much faster, because right now we're going through the top 50 pairs. Then we've got a list of signals that we validate. So there could be a 2-minute gap between the detection of the first signal and the detection of the last signal, which is definitely not ideal. So this way there would be no difference between them, because the moment a signal gets detected as a candidate, it goes into the scoring process, validation and risk framing instantly. The other thing that is good from my perspective for this is, as we get more users, I can scale this up. So I'm doing this here as 1 receiver and 3 delivery workers, but I could totally add as many workers here as I need at the end. So we can build that scalability very, very easily. If we needed to duplicate this entire thing, so have multiple receivers of this chain, so we could put another distributor here, and then depends how many users we end up with. If we had thousands, hundreds of thousands of users, I imagine I would probably need hundreds of receiver processes as well, and maybe hundreds of detector processes also. But it's just a more modular way of doing it. It definitely seems to me that it could work, and it is based on what I've seen as some best practice. But I'm very, very open to ideas on that. If anyone wants to talk about it in the Telegram group or on X, I'd be delighted to hear your ideas and your feedback on it. But this is probably the first proof of concept that I will go through on this. So that's where I'm at the minute. I was just looking today. I'm going to choose a product that I can put like a backlog on. So I'll do this like a Kanban board kind of style. I was looking at, this is Monday.com. I was looking at Jira, and I was looking at ClickUp, because I've used all 3 of these before. So I'll choose one of these products, and I'll make a public list where I'll detail all the work I'm doing. I'll detail it as backlog, currently in progress, and completed. And then you'll be able to see the progress as we're going. I'd also like to add a feature request board or a feature request form there as well, and add a bug report form as well, so people can notify me of issues. And again, this is just for scalability. If I do this now, it's in place for when we have a much, much bigger user base. And these are the kind of things that you need once your user base grows. So yeah, I should be able to get that done pretty soon, I think. I'll have this ready and live shareable for everyone to take a look at. The other thing that I'm going to do is, I was discussing in the Telegram group today that as we grow again, I'm going to need to provide user documentation. So this is again something, when it was a minimal viable product, I didn't dive into. But I think what we will do is, just here we'll have a section that's like docs or help, and it'll be a list of articles, maybe some videos, and other user content, help content for users that will guide them on how to use the product. Because right now I can be very hands-on. People ask me a question in the Telegram group and I can give an answer. But when the user base grows, I won't be able to do that, because there'll be too many questions. So a really good best practice rather, in that case, is you try to anticipate the issues that your users are going to have, and then you build content for them, so videos, help guides, etc., so that they can solve their own problem. It's called self-service. So if they can self-serve themselves to a solution, then you don't have to. So yeah, it really, really pays to build this type of content. And I actually have an internal wiki already for the product for myself as the builder, and for the AI agents that I'm using. It was one of the best decisions that I made while I was building, and really, really helped. Especially because when you're using AI supported development as I'm doing in a what's known as an agentic development environment called anti-gravity is the one I'm currently using. AIs have a limited context window, which means a limited memory, basically, and they very, very often forget context in the past. So having documentation internally, like product team development documentation, helps them retain the context much, much better. And I can ask them to refer to the wiki when they don't remember what a certain module does, what a certain process does. I am thinking, just going to put this here. I did say as well, probably not tomorrow, but at some point I am going to do a little mini talk or mini workshop here about agentic development environments, how you actually use AI products to help you develop faster. And I've mentioned before that I began all this manually. So I started coding manually, researching manually, everything was manual, very, very slow. And then about November, I discovered these things called agentic development environments, which is basically a development environment, a place where you can code that has AI products built in or that you can add as extensions. So for example, I'm using Codex primarily at the minute, and I also use Opus 4.6, which is from Claude in anti-gravity. So these are my go-tos, the two of them together. And I've said many times in the Telegram group that this made me work 10 times faster. It was absolutely incredible. I would call it life-changing. It's just ridiculous. And for example, yesterday we realized that I was getting a lot of requests to add people to the premium bot, that they had 0.5% of supply or 5 million tokens, and I needed to add them, and it was manual at that time. So literally yesterday morning, in about 3 hours, I built a bot that automates that process, and another bot that automatically verifies that people have continued to hold the tokens as well, because I don't think it's fair if someone got access and then they sold their tokens straight away. You need to retain the tokens if you want to keep access. So yeah, I'll definitely do a little presentation here on my workflow for agentic development at some stage. Yeah, we'll see, maybe at the weekend. Okay, so those are future topics. That's demonstration of the background of the project. We looked at the product itself. We talked about one of the improvements that I'm planning to make to it. And then we talked about a little bit of a future topic that we'll definitely get into because it's something I'm very, very passionate about, this agentic development. So I'm just going to check through all of the socials again, looking on Telegram. Let's just see if anyone has asked any questions on X. Okay, no questions there. That's great. And then if there's nothing else, I'm probably going to wrap it up for today just because I'm tired. Because yeah, this hackathon is intense. Definitely the building in public aspect is intense, and it's yeah, something that I'm getting used to. Definitely live streaming every day. It definitely gets easier, I think. It's interesting how used to it I'm getting just by doing the one every day. I think this is our 4th or 5th day in a row doing them. 6th day, 5th day, 5th day, I think. So yeah, I'm going to wrap it up, I'd say, for tonight because I still have some building to do. But I appreciate it very, very much. Thank you very, very much for joining. I'm delighted to have the opportunity to do this every day and to talk to the folks who are using this, and definitely to get any questions if you have them. Feel free to join our Telegram group. I'm keeping an eye on it as much as I can in between building, and I will definitely answer any questions that you have there if I can. Fantastic. Looking forward to talking to you again tomorrow. Till then.